looky, even with Fable, Xbox doesn't cream my cookie, and I'm gonna tell you why. Xbox is quite remarkable because it's uncommon for them to make a good decision. Often when they do, they follow it up by making a bad one. In today's example, I'm going to talk about the good move to reboot Fable. Now, to point out the obvious, Xbox still desperately needs more than one decent exclusive. In fact, they've been needing decent exclusives for the whole previous generation. After waking up to this glaring problem and realising how far the Sony train was ahead, Xbox shit themselves and threw money at anyone who said that they would help them out. Now, I don't want you to think that Xbox is lazy and only can resolve their problems by paying other people to solve them, because unsatisfied with writing checks in crayon, Xbox got out of their chair, pulled up their trousers, to then grab the nearest bucket and throw it down the old company well. I'm sorry Xbox, let's be fair. You're owned by one of the richest companies in the world. We can't expect you to make a video game every now and then. You just keep recycling old ones. So it was a good move by Xbox to throw the old rusty bucket down the well. But what they pulled up this time was a real gem. Fable is precisely the exclusive Xbox needs. But on rediscovering Fable, Xbox must have got too excited and ran straight into Molyneux's only oak tree. Honestly, I think this actually happened because Xbox decided to give the reboot of Fable to Playground Games. That's right, they gave the Fable franchise, an RPG, to a studio that has literally never made one. Xbox, don't you think you have another studio that is better suited to this type of game? Come on Xbox. You should know this. Surely you're not that stupid. I just don't understand what the clowns over at Xbox are on. Rare's whimsical art style is perfect for a Fable game. They're also much more experienced in making RPGs than Playground are. Giving Playground Fable is like putting Mbappe in the octagon with McGregor, on the basis that they're both professional sportsmen. Xbox, you're off your head. This just shows how out of touch you really are with your studios. This is a no-brainer for anyone who has a vague grasp of what they're doing. How the hell are Playground going to cope with making a game like Fable with no experience of making anything like Fable before? This decision not only throws Playground under the bus, but also shows a lack of faith in Rare. This is how you screw two studios with one game. I really do think Playground is going to have to pull something quite spectacular out of their arse to make a game worthy of the Fable title. Even more so considering fans are still chewed up about Lionhead's failed reboot. As we're on the subject of previous car crashes, let's think back to a more recent relevant crash. Project Red's situation at the time of making Cyberpunk is similar to the situation I think Playground are going to find themselves in. Project Red took on something very new to the studio, but they massively underestimated the gravity of what they were taking on. The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk are completely different animals, and Project Red found that out the hard way. Now Playground are going to find themselves in a similar boat, however they're going to have far less paddles, because like with every game there's a whole set of specific skills needed to make an RPG. Now these skills are completely different to the skills needed to make a racing game. At least Project Red had some overlap between The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. Some of their skills were transferable. Playground on the other hand don't have as much overlap, as there's few similarities between an RPG and a racing game, unless there's going to be cars in this new Fable. You know, I think Playground are going to have a lot of issues making Fable, all the while Rare are going to be banging on the glass from the sidelines. I only can imagine how frustrated and insulted Rare must feel by being overlooked by the big green daddy. Xbox would rather give an RPG that is right up their street and well within their capabilities to make, to a studio that has literally never made anything but racing games. What a punch in the gut. It would be great to see another decent Fable game, but I just can't see this Fable turning out to be that great. I reckon the game is going to be delayed after going through development hell, to eventually come out to be buggy and end up just being another meh exclusive on a long list of meh exclusives Xbox has.
Fantastical creatures and wondrous places where nature and magic live in perfect harmony. Not all stories have happy endings. But yours has yet to be written.